Nicholas, you are the founder of this phenomenal medium, Singu, which allows hopefuls to showcase their talent, which is quite accommodating and considerate on your part, I mean. Yet it seems as though you're not the type of person that'll start a career and then just lay back, take a walk on the beach and say, I'm done with this. You seem a little bit more into challenges. So have you had any other business ventures before you created Semkiw?
Yeah, I actually had one right before Semkiw. It was a clothing company called Royal Air Clothing.
Okay.
It was kind of urban t-shirts. There was a lot of clutter with like the Ed Hardys and the Christian Audigies, those over-pronounced graphic t-shirts.
Right.
You saw them at every club you went to.
Right.
So I wanted to make something that was attractive in terms of have a cool graphic but minimal, you know, just see something cool, turn someone's head, but at the same time they could forget it that quick, if that makes sense. Like you get that attraction and then you could keep moving on. And so I developed Royal Air Clothing and it did well, you know. We got a lot of people to wear it. We had t-shirts kind of around the city. It was funny, the first time I saw someone wearing a t-shirt when I was walking down the street,
really?
I was like, wait, that's my design, you know.
Awesome.
And it was cool. But yeah, so that was a venture I did, you know, prior to SingWho was Royal Air Clothing. Yeah.
It's interesting that you said you wanted someone to look at your clothing and you say you forget about it the next minute. Like, why? I've never heard
because
that.
when you go in somewhere, some people don't like to have all the eyes on them. They don't want to have people staring at them. They don't want to be in that position, but they want to be noticed. It's nice to be noticed, you know.
Right.
You dress nice and you go somewhere, you want to be noticed.
Right.
So if someone noticed a cool T-shirt, and then right away they got back to doing whatever they were doing.
Right.
Later on that day or that night, they could get home and be like, wait, that t-shirt I saw was cool, you know, the skyline with the headphones in it. Let me go search for that. Let me figure out what that was. So it actually almost makes the person more engaged to finding out what it is if they're not right away like staring at the t-shirt. Hey, what is that? It makes them get a little bit more invested in finding the shirt and finding, you know, where that was from and stuff like that.
Are you still working on this?
So no, you know, it was when I moved on to SingWho, we had some venture capitalists come in and some angel investors.
Okay.
So I promised them, you know, as to my co-founders and, you know, everyone who's a part of SingWho, that would be 100% of my focus.
Okay. So is that why you haven't given Chris his shirt in the last birthday?
I know, Chris. We're doing a limited run. We're doing a limited run of the headphones and the skyline, and and Chris will get one. All you guys will get one.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we're doing a limited SingWho run for that.
We'll keep this product.
I know. Trust me, he never lets me forget every time he talks about it.
Sorry, I had to.
That's great.
This production will possibly give millions of people exposure to becoming one step closer to their goals of becoming America's best. What was the timeline in the development stage from the theory on paper to this empire? How long did it take you? What did you have to go through?
Not an empire yet, but we're getting there.
Okay.
No, it's been about a 2-year process with SingWho. When the concept was originally developed, you know, it was developed out of something completely different. It was, you know, I saw a friend's website that he had that was not anything remotely close to what we're doing, but had a cool name. It was just called True Stage. It was a really cool domain name. And that got me thinking. It sparked like that kind of like the wheels turning and all the modes started to go. And I started to sketch, and I have a graphic design background. Okay. So I started to just make wireframes. If we could do this and we could do this, and I was a big fan of going on YouTube. See, now it's ingrained in me.
See, that's good.
I was a big fan of going on YouTube and looking at unsigned talent, looking at people that I've never heard of, and I want to be the first one to kind of show my friends, show my family, like, oh, check this guy out or check this out. So when I was kind of making these wireframes, I'm like, this name is cool. What can I do with this? And it wasn't SingWho, you know, like I said before, and so I kind of just started as one thing and kind of evolved to the other. And then when I got to a certain point, I had all these wireframes made, and my co-founder came on board, Jesse. He helped me take it to even the next level. So, you know, there was 4 or 5 months of planning with Jesse that took the product from one stage to the next stage. You know, we started developing our beta product, and we kind of say, we amputate things, if you will. So, you know, there was all these different moving parts, and we kind of sculpted it down. So we got to our beta phase, and then that was probably about 8 months ago when we released our beta phase. So it's been 8 months now where we've actually had a live site where users can go on the site and sign up.
obstacles were you faced with while creating Singu?
That's a good question actually, because there's a lot of obstacles. I think our biggest obstacle is myself and my team are such creative people. I like to think of us as creative people, and we have these great ideas, and we want to include everything into when we release a product or we release an update and you can't. Like, you just can't. We hope a user is going to want this, but the reality of the situation is a user doesn't care about that, or it's too complicated for the user to use. So I guess one of the biggest obstacles is kind of not worrying about what we like or what we want, but caring about what the users actually want and what the users actually use. And I think that we're training ourselves to really understand that now, and using a lot of the information that we get as feedback from our users to kind of give them the best product and stuff like that.
Okay, from a business standpoint, what were your most significant challenges with scouting out investors and persuading them to assist you in making your dream become a reality?
That's another good question. I think our biggest thing was getting investors is we wanted smart money. We didn't just want investors that could write a check. I mean, we're in New York City. There's a lot of people who can write checks if they think something's cool. But we wanted another layer to that investor. We wanted them to be able to guide us through some of the obstacles that we were gonna come upon, or have connections that were rooted in the music industry or entertainment, something like that. So we were very selective on kind of who we were taking on as investors. And that sounds a little crazy, because you're like, oh, if you can get money just get money, And there's some truth to that, right. But at the same time, when you get 5-6 months down the road, if you took an investor that only wanted to put $25,000 in compared to one that put $100,000, but this $25,000 investor was a friend of the president of Atlantic Records, or had connections with Pasha nightclub or something like that, those relationships become much more valuable than the cash actually did at the time. So that was what we kind of did when we went looking for investors and stuff like that.
Okay, it's obvious that the music industry has altered drastically, especially within the last 10-15 years, including how record labels recruit new artists.
Yeah.
You turn on the television, somebody's singing. There's competition. There's American Idol, there's X Factor, and several other shows. Have you ever been criticized or ostracized by the public for, I won't say you're contributing to it, but there is a sense of the rush of competition to the success in the music industry has been a little jaded and warped a little bit, because the opportunity is handed to them on a silver platter. And it's not like before. People are not going out anymore. So do you think there's an issue with that, or do you think you're actually making a...
So with SingWho, no. And why I say that is because how American Idol gets their winner, or X Factor gets their winner, or how that musician even gets to perform in front of the judges is a very difficult road. And like you said, sometimes they're hand selected because you need it for the entertainment value of television, things like that. With SingWho, there's still work you have to put in as an artist. You can win a competition, but it's also your job to get your friends and family to vote for you in the competition. It's your job to promote it on social media. It's your job to create a catalog of music in your SingWho lounge that actually makes people want to listen to it and enjoy listening to it, and refer their friends to come listen to it, or share it on this wall, or share it on this blog. So there's still that grassroots.
You're your own agent.
Exactly. There's still that grassroots mentality of getting your music out there. And that's one of the biggest things with SingWho, is that we wanted to give the power kind of back to the musician, and not have to worry about latching onto these big TV shows or a big record label to get a distribution deal.
Right. And they have control over your soul.
Exactly. Where we wanted to give that power back to the musician. Whether a musician wants to be a huge star, or maybe they just want to create music for a cult following of 100,000 people who are going to buy their album, whatever it might be. I heard good stories actually, and I want to say it was Nipsey Hussle. He's a rapper, and he put out an album. He knows he has a following of about 100,000, 200,000 people that are faithful to him. He didn't care about getting to the masses. He put out an album that sold for $100, and he knew his users were gonna buy it for $100. So that's kind of like that mentality we want. That we give the artist the control back, opposed to the TV show, the producers, or that big machine behind everything. If that makes sense.
Was the development of SingWho influenced by a desire to pursue a career in the music industry for yourself, or was it just totally independent? Were you ever...
that's funny. I always knew that somehow I wanted to be involved in music. I remember with one of my good friends, we bought turntables together when we were 11 years old. We bought Gemini XL 100s with a little Gemini, mixer, and we figured our way in was we were gonna DJ and we were gonna be DJs, and so we DJed for a little while and it was fun. He actually moved on to the producing side of things, and he's had some great, success with producing. Produced some tracks for some good people. But myself, I just never found my fit into like DJing. But it wasn't like then I thought maybe I wanted to get into the artist management side. But I've always been a huge fan of tech, so I was like, wait, if I can bring these two worlds together, have the music, have the tech. For me,
Paradise.
It is. It really is. I'm excited. I'm happy every time I come to work. So it was just, it took a while to come full circle, I guess, if that's the best way to put it. But yeah, now that I'm here, I mean, I've always wanted to kind of be in music and have that ability. So yeah, it's cool.
How did you establish a partnership with your co-founder at Silver?
So Jess and I were friends in college. And we had a great relationship in college. We just kind of always hit it off, and we were kind of partied with each other, went on spring break with each other. And when I was the idea of SingWho kind of came around, I was trying to think of the people who honestly were smarter than I was. And that mattered to me. Like I know what I was strong at, but I wanted someone who was strong at the stuff that I wasn't strong at. A lot of the IT side of things, which Jess is amazing at. So when I approached him, I'm like, hey, I got this idea. Would you like to, do it with me? He heard it, he loved it, and then he brought his flavor to the project, and his expertise and his knowledge, and it just made us that much stronger. So yeah, I mean, I guess ultimately how I found them is we went to school together, but I wanted someone who actually I looked up to in what they were doing and be like, wow, this kid's really smart and he knows what he's doing. So that's how we formed a team.
Perfect. Okay. Building a company. An empire. I'm gonna say empire.
You can play it to my ego. I love it.
Building an empire such as complex as this one must be very cautious of who they invite into their business in the development process. What gave you the motivation to pursue a collaboration with Jess?
Again, like I said, we had history. I knew that I could get along with Jess, and I knew that. Beyond what sometimes you fight, your co-founders, your partners, sometimes you fight with each other, but I knew that if we fought with each other, we would the next day or the next minute we'd be like, all right, let's go get a beer and have fun, and I knew if in our successes together too, I knew that he was someone that I would want to share my successes with too. So I guess that was kind of just like I really felt comfortable with him, and I felt that SingWho needed him almost in a way. So again, putting the bigger above myself is like SingWho needed him to be successful. So I don't know, just
so like your soulmate, just
yeah, it's funny that everywhere we go, people are like, "Are you two brothers?" And it's like
to look alike.
Yeah, they start to look alike, talk alike, do the same things, dress alike. Yeah. But I think that comes from the fact that we just both had the same vision for SingWho, and we want SingWho to be as successful as it is. And I guess when I brought Jess in, I was not worried one bit that his vision was in line with mine, So it was really cool, really cool.
Okay, so personally, I believe that music in educational institutions is extremely important and imperative, especially because students' ability to learn at a greater capacity.
Yeah.
So do you have or will you have any programs that will directly benefit children in the schools? Have you ever thought about that?
Yes. So we're actually working on two programs right now. We're working on one with the DOE, the New York City Department of Education, and we're going to run a contest within the New York City public school system where each school will face off against each other within the school, within those four walls, and you'll get the best singer from that school, and then they'll all face off against each other in a citywide competition to win a grant for their school for the performing arts, and then also will allow schools to write in to also win a grant, school that's in need of it, to help, make the arts program stronger within schools, because we are a big believer in that, and we really want that. And then we have one that's a little bit more recent with a foundation called Do the Right Thing, and they're based in Boston, and we're going to do a whole program where kids are going to write songs based around a subject that is meaningful to them, and then the top 20 out of those people who submit their essays will actually get an opportunity to record those songs in video and put them on SingWho, and then allow people to vote on them and stuff like that. So it's,
I wish I was a kid.
so yeah, no, we're heavy into doing stuff for the kids, because I mean, ultimately that's where our user base is too, you know, and we have New York City as our playground, and it's so awesome, because what better place to help promote a product than promoting it with the kids from the New York City public school system. I mean, New York sets trends, you know, and the kids ultimately in the public school systems are setting the trends that the rest of the world follows. You know, it's these kids, you know, that are doing this. So we were so excited when we kind of came together for these programs and stuff like that. So
I'm so glad you said that. But another question, just to piggyback off of that question, would it be every student, or would it be any requirements that they have to follow?
There's going to be
have to be, you know.
There's going to be educational requirements. There'll be attendance requirements.
That's good.
Yeah, we kind of left it on the school to kind of decide what would best fit their students.
Yeah. You can't just come to school to sing.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You can't just come to sing. You know, you might have to have perfect attendance for the previous 30 days, or you know, whatever they want to put on the, you know, the guidelines to get the students. But no, we definitely wanted some parameters set, because you can't have, like you said, you know, it's school, you gotta work.
Yeah.
You know, if you want dessert, you gotta eat dinner, right? So
exactly.
like, that's, you know, that's what we gotta do. So.
Is this a temporary thing, or do you want this to continue as long as SingWho?
We would like for it to continue, and you know, we want to set up our own foundation eventually, where we can start, you know, donating to, you know, the public school systems, not just in New York, but across the country would be phenomenal, and helping facilitate the arts. And because not everyone's great at math or great at science, but there's some extremely talented kids that, you know, are great at music, are great at performing, and there's a lot of education behind all that. And if we can help facilitate that, help those kids grow, and ultimately make a star out of that, that'd be awesome, you know. So we want to continue that.
You stated that there are contests and incentives through SingWho distributed to individuals who participate and win, of course. You're not just giving out free money. Tell the viewers more about this genius concept that you have.
So, I mean, it's kind of simple. Right now, we're giving away small prizes, because we're still figuring out what the best way to have the competitions is at Singu, because we're still relatively new. So we're giving away iTunes gift cards, American Express gift cards, Beats headphones, Spotify memberships. But ultimately, what we want to get is we want to give away the bigger prizes of the record deals, of live performances in front of, you know, screaming fans, or cars, or big cash prizes. You know, it'd be great to be able to say, here's $10,000 to get your album made. You know, you don't need to go to, you know, those record labels. We can give you the prize for winning the competition. You know, but we're just not there yet, because we don't feel like our process is tight enough yet. But in the next probably 7 to 8 months, we should be at that level. We'll be giving away big prizes like that. But it incentivizes people. You know, if you do something and you're good at it, you want to get rewarded for it. And you know, that's just the ultimate foundation of why we're doing it. You know, so it's cool.
Do you have any sponsors, or is this just coming out your pocket?
So right now it's just, we do it all in-house. We are talking to some sponsors now, but like I said, we felt that wasn't right to take on sponsors at this time, because we still hadn't figured out the contest process that we wanted to implement. And we're rolling out a new site next week, whole new design, all new features and everything. And the contest process is spot on where we want it to be. So we're gonna slowly start introducing our sponsors, because we do have sponsors that, you know, are gonna be coming on board. So we're gonna start to introduce them slowly over the next few months.
Cool. Is enhancing the growth and potential of SingWho your only focus at this moment, or are there any projects that may be shown to the public in the near future?
No. I mean, in terms of my dedication is 100% SingWho. If I can help a friend out with something, you know, I do that. I have a graphic design background, so you know, if I can do a graphic for someone or help them with a logo or something like that, you know, I definitely do that. But no, SingWho is 100% my main focus.
Has your family been supportive in your ventures as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, 100%.
Really?
My mom, when I told her I was going to leave my job to do SingWho full time,
she kicked you out?
No, it wasn't even hesitation. She was just like, she's like, do you feel that, you know, this is what you want to do and you feel like you make this a success? I was like, yeah. I was like, I truly do, and you know, I'd rather do it and regret doing it but still have done it than not have done it at all and just stayed in kind of that that same lane that I was supposed to stay in. That I would graduate college, get a job, stay in that lane, and retire at 65. That wasn't for me, and she knew that, and I think she understood that too. So.
Was there any pressure at any point from any member in your community or your family to say, maybe you shouldn't do this, maybe it's a little bit too much for you, maybe to slow down a bit?
In terms of immediate family, no, everyone's been kind of supportive. I definitely have some friends that were like, Nick, you have, a good job, or you have this going on or that going on. You sure you want to put your main focus on that? But at the same time too, I think people just understood that I didn't care what anyone said. I guess I'd say as an entrepreneur, sometimes you have to be ignorant to the fact that you can fail. You actually have to know, I'm too dumb, I can't fail, I can't fail at this, and just go at it as hard as you can. So even if they did think it wasn't a good idea, they weren't stopping me from doing it, plain and simple. So.
Well, you mentioned your mom just a few seconds ago. Can you name anyone else, or maybe she's the only one who is your biggest fan, your biggest supporter that you can tell anything?
My mother, my sister. My sister supports me a lot. My sister has her own business. She's a baker. She bakes these amazing cakes that are just crazy. Okay. She can replicate anything.
Really?
It's absolutely amazing what she did. But she's a big supporter of, my family's close because my father passed away when I was younger. So my mother and my sister were kind of we were, it was us three, and my stepdad, he's supportive too, but I don't think he understands the internet aspect behind it. He supports me in the sense where he's like, oh, Nick's, a smart kid, he knows what he has to do to get it done. But yeah, I would say, my sister was definitely, a big supporter too as well too.
Okay, so I believe there's an innate human characteristic in all of us to be successful, but it seems for you it's a bit heightened, which is a good thing. Where do you get this drive from?
I think it's wanting to know kind of what's beyond the horizon, if you will. And it's weird because you'll never get to the horizon. No matter how hard you try, you can go as...
But once you get there, there's nowhere to grow. So.
But you can't. That's the thing about the horizon. If you look at the ocean, okay, and you see the horizon, you can take a boat as fast as you want. The horizon's just gonna keep going back there. So I guess it's that that hunger in me to find out what if I got to the horizon, what's beyond that, But I guess that mentality just keeps me driving and it keeps me trying to find out. It's not necessarily to be successful. It's just learn new things and experience new things, as I keep going on,
Okay. All right. So you're a young man. Okay, you're 28 years old. From what you tell me, I don't know if you're older.
Sometimes I forget.
But you have so many accomplishments. Looking back on your life, which is pretty short life, but successful, what are you most proud of?
I think I'm pretty proud of going to college. I definitely believe in going to school and getting that done. But SingWho's definitely up there. But I think it's kind of. I think maybe maintaining friendships with friends too and family and stuff like that. It's not all about just the business side of things, I think I'm proud that, still have a great relationship with my family, still have a great relationship with my friends. My friends that I've been from when I was 7 years old, we're still all friends, we still goof around, we still clown around. So I think maintaining those relationships is kind of, a bigger success than SingWho. But I mean, up until this point, maybe, on the business side, SingWho, is definitely, one of the greater accomplishments in my life. So.
Awesome. Okay, one question, last question.
Okay.
It's pretty serious. If you don't answer, you don't have to answer it.
Okay.
What would you say to your father right now, if you had the chance? What would you say to him right now? Looking back on your life and everything, what would you say?
That's a good question. I don't think I've ever thought of that. And the son probably I should think of. But probably, am I good to my family? Did I help my sister? Did I guide her in the right direction? Was I enough support from my mom? Being a single mother, and is he proud of the path that I took? Whether successful or not successful.
Do you think he's proud?
I would hope so. I would hope that he is. But yeah, I think he would be. I think he would be. But yeah, just kind of if he felt like I was that kind of stand-up guy, for my family and stuff like that. That's the biggest thing.
I think he's pretty proud.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
That's